Part 4 in my northern journey out of the Bahamas brings me to Hatchet Bay, which is in Alice Town. The inlet is about 90 feet wide and 60 feet is the actual channel. This is the cut from the Exuma Sound into Hatchet Bay. And I could see the boat starting to move, so I venture to say it's just right on the outside. It's a really short cut. He's on the outside already now. So I've been traveling all day from Rock Sound to Eleuthera, up north, and this is Alice Town. So there's a little harbor on the inside there. I've had following winds all day long. My windlass is half broken, and so let me get the head sail in and then we'll go in there right over there. I had to put the camera down as I was coming through the cut because the current was severe and the boat was getting rolled and pushed left and right, and you gotta use two hands and dance on the steering wheel to hold the boat right in the center of the cut. Ho-ho! That was a little hairy. Yeah, that was a little hairy. So you see those people right there in that little dinghy. They're in a trawler, and there's very few people inside here, but they came over and introduced themselves to say hello. They complimented me on how well I came through the little cut, because they had just come through a little while ago. And it kind of knocks you around and pushes you around, and it's very narrow. And so you got to really be on top of it and stay in the middle, because you don't want to get thrown to the side and crash. So I'm inside Alice Town here. I'll have to look to see the name of this little bay or harbor. It's very small, but it's very protected. This is, oh, this must be a sought-after hurricane hull, because it's protected all the way around. I came in here, my depth gauge quit, which is kind of a bummer. I needed it in here. I anchored according to the map. There's probably around 7 feet in front of me. Under me, I don't really know. But I kind of really needed that depth sounder. Today's been a fun day because, see, I got everything out of the forward head here. It's here and there and there and there, because I had to get in here because my my windlass was malfunctioning. And so this is my relay box. It's stowed behind this hatch here in the forward head. It's a nice little unit. It has a clear cover for it. And this is the relay assembly. And these are the heavy-duty cables that go up to the windlass. And so the remote control hooks to this. And this morning I got the anchor up, but my remote control was kind of getting weird. The on wasn't working, and then it was working, and it was sticking. And so I got the anchor up, but then when I went back to the helm, I heard the anchor up come on again. And I wasn't able real quick to get down below and disconnect the power. Later on, I went to use the windlass here, and this is your up, this is your down. And the up doesn't work, it just clicks. So that's down, which works. I mean, if I take a screwdriver and I short the two terminals out for the up, just like you would jump a starter if the solenoid's bad, the windlass up there comes on and hauls the chain. Crumb. We're here in Hatchet Bay, Alistown, and we're going to town. Here we are at the dock. Local fishermen. I'm tied off. And here we go. Okay. I guess I should have brought my phone for directions. I've just been talking here for a while with Russell. He has this little store here, and I'm in just a small, this is Alistown.
Hatchet Bay.
Hatchet Bay. Yeah. And thank you for talking. He knows the Lord. And
I believe the word.
You believe the word.
Yes, sir.
So he was really nice. This is the store. And I went to buy a pineapple juice, and he gave it to me for free. Very nice. Uh-oh. I think going the wrong way. I'm on the Queens Highway. And I hope I don't have to go too far. And if you look out there, you can see silent running. I smell ganji. So I went down the road and I found that store that sells hardware and electrical things, and they are closed until Saturday, and today is Thursday. See, that's where I came through yesterday. It's very narrow. There was a pretty good current going. I'm taking apart the relay for my windlass, and I've taken it apart and I've looked at it, and everything, these are part of the, this is part of the solenoid that moves, but inside here, that looks bent. I mean, it looks like it's hot, it looks like it's melted. You can see plastic that's oozed up. And if you look really closely at all of this, this level is farther down. And a lot of amperage flowed through here, and that melted and pushed the plastic down. So I'm going to see if it's possible for me to take that up, take it apart, and raise that elevation up so it'll make contact again. You can see right here where that really melted and this sunk into the plastic some. The elevation of these contacts need to be the same height as this. And when I opened it up, I could visually see that this was lower. I tried measuring it, but this has to be the same height because these plungers, it comes down and it's making contact with one of these and then the other one, which is wires on the other end. And so these, I've had to clean up the contacts, not perfect, and the other one for the down, not so much. It never had as much current going through. And its mate, you can see how hot it got. It really melted. This was pitted up really bad. It must have been arcing as it got out of reach. And then the other one, this was for the down. There's a little pit there, but I basically cleaned it up. To get that pit out, I got to take a lot of material off, and I'm just not going to do it. It's not worth it. This piece here, it moves this way and it makes contact here and it makes contact here, and then power flows that way. This is a Loaf France. That's the brand of my windlass, and I'm sure this this unit here is expensive. I was gonna fix it. I was going to use the one relay that was still working, and I was going to use an automotive starting solenoid for the other side just to get me out of here. But I knew as I started to disconnect all the wires on this, I thought I need to take it apart, and sure enough, they gave 4 screws there, so I was able to take this apart, and bingo, I can fix it. So that's really cool. The only thing that's messed up now is in the hand controller, which caused this whole mess to begin with. There's 2 micro switches. So this is my hand controller, and this is not a, this is just a universal. And underneath the up and the down are 2 little micro switches. And so I took this all apart. This is my first thing I took apart. And this thing was half full of salt water. What you see is I've got all the contacts back in there. The center contact is the power in, and it can send power to the left or the right, which is up or down. And I have used 600 wet and dry emery cloth, and with water I cleaned these contacts up. And this is the one that really had a hard time before. You can see this right here. I've cleaned it up, but it's still pitted in there, and that made it here. Now this one here, you can see it's discolored because it got hot, and when it got hot, it melted the plastic and it went down lower elevation than these. So this one right here, which has seen more trouble, I'm going to put it over here because on the motor down, it doesn't see the amperage of pulling the anchor and chain back up. And this one that was much cleaner, I'm going to put the slight blemish. Well, I'm going to put it right there. And with these things installed, just by the eyeball, you can see that they're level. But I'll tell you, before, when they were installed, let me see if I can get this to sit. This one here was like that. I'm exaggerating, but still, you could see it. It sat like that. And this one here This one here was still making contact, but it was still over. This one had melted and sunk enough in that contact down there that it wasn't touching and making contact anymore. So I have mixed up some JB Weld, and I put some JB Weld under that, and this one was also lower too. It wasn't as bad, but still with no melting, this one was still lower than this one, and they got to be level. That's the geometry of all this. So I've got them all in there now. The JB Weld was quick, and as I cinched down on it, I was very much comparing like this. I didn't want to go below level, and so I've read online where people have had this same exact relay click, and they don't understand why they're not getting the power to the windlass, and it's these contacts. That's the deal. Okay, here you can see I've got a power supply, and I'm putting it on about 12 volts. 12 volts. Here's my relay that I just worked on. Here I touch these and I get, so here on the top I've got the negative from the power supply going to the center, and this is the positive for this relay, and this is the positive for this relay. You hear that? And this baby is working. I haven't priced it out yet, but I bet you that's over $100, 150. The relay is mounted, my battery in, and the outs to the windlass are all there. I've got a new, sorry, I only have two hands. This will have to work for now. I don't like it because the down is just down. I actually have another switch I might be able to swap out. So that's down anchor, that's off, that's up anchor. I don't know why it's that way, but it's kind of water resistant, not waterproof, so it's not going to get left outside. I've got this little controller, which I don't like until I can get a newer replacement for the one that went bad, that ruined the relay box. Last time I had to motor forward to break it free, and it's going to be really dirty, so I'm going to drag it in the water. Next up, we head over to the notorious Current Cut on our way to Spanish Wells. See you then.